These statues are not just stone and metal. They're not just innocent remembrances of a benign history. These monuments celebrate a fictional, sanitized Confederacy, ignoring the death, ignoring the enslavement, ignoring the terror that it actually stood for.
That speech by New Orleans Mayor, that's Mitch Landrieu, about removing Confederate statues in his city made headlines nationwide this year. This morning, we take a closer look at that debate and other national issues playing out on the local level. In our continuing series, we call it American Voices. Mayor Landrieu is here at the table. He's also, by the way, president of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, and he joins us live and in color. Always good to see you, Mayor.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
That speech has received 450,000 views, and I watched you last night at Mayor Bloomberg's business dinner, and so many people came up to you saying they were moved or they were touched by your speech. And there's one thing that stood out for me in it. You said, "You all did not elect me to do the easy things. You elected me to do the right thing." Why was this the right thing to do? You spoke with such passion about it.
Well, you know, as the nation tries to lurch towards healing, it's really important that people feel open and inclusive. The city of New Orleans has always prided itself on being a diverse place, a place where all people are welcome, a place where all kinds of people can come and enjoy themselves. Those monuments have been up there as a testament to, in my opinion, what was a false narrative of history. You have a city that's 67% African American. Individuals have to walk by those statues, which are in public places of reverence. And it was just really not who I thought the city of New Orleans was or who we ever were. And so I thought it was important to course correct history.
You said we're a city and a country of two truths, and we can't ignore both truths.
Well, I think that is absolutely true. And one of the things that we've been doing since Katrina is rebuilding the city of New Orleans, not the way that she was, but the way she always would have been if we would have gotten it right the first time. And of course, this nation has had a really difficult time struggling with the history of the Civil War. Those monuments were put up purposefully and intensely to send a message that for some reason the Confederacy was not going to become part of the United States of America. And it was important to state really, really clearly that that's not who we were as a people.
What's interesting is that some people have said, well, why does it all stop and start taking down monuments? John Meacham raised that point in a piece that he wrote in which he said, the question and the answer is, was the person to whom a monument is erected on public property devoted to the American experiment in liberty and self-government? Washington and Jefferson and Andrew Jackson were, each owned slaves, but each was committed to the transparent idea.
Yeah, I think he's correct about that. There's a clear delineation between revering certain people and others. These individuals put these monuments up because to honor them for trying to destroy the nation, not to support the nation, to really deny the issues of liberty and justice for everybody, not to support it. And so that's not who we ever were in the city of New Orleans. And so they didn't reflect our values. And so I thought it was really important that we take them down.
Do you believe that those places should be replaced by monuments to other ideas and other people?
I think the people in communities ought to use their public places in ways that lift people up and not tear them down. And I think each community has to construct either monuments or other pieces of art or green spaces that reflect who they are as a people and that celebrate who we are in an affirming way, not a destructive way. Those particular monuments were put up by the Daughters of the Confederacy pursuant to something called the Cult of the Lost Cause, which of course really honored us not being a nation. And that's why it was really important just to reflect what our true history was. And by the way, they were put up way after the Civil War.
Yes.
They were kind of a historical lie,
right.
essentially.
And one of the reasons that speech went so viral is because you clearly put a lot of thought into the words or the language that you used. I'm curious, when you hear our president speak and some of the colorful language he chooses, like yesterday even at the United Nations calling Kim Jong-un the Rocket Man, what is your reaction to some of the language this president has used, and is it helpful, do you think, on the world stage?
I think it's wrong-headed, and I don't think it's helpful at all. This speech that I gave was an invitation for people to look into their souls and to really kind of discern where we had been and where we're going, and to come together as a people to transform to a better place. That's what that was about. It wasn't an antagonistic speech designed to pummel people or to beat them into submission. That doesn't really work. That speech yesterday was actually sad, and I think that most Americans are going to think that historically.
Well, like we said, the number of people who have been tuning in and listening to your speech continues to grow. Your words of wisdom. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mayor.
Thank you very much. It was great to be with you.
We appreciate it.
Good to see you.